wall mural. Oh, this large wall mural. I gotta get that out of there. That was put up near the gym, where there's a lot of parents coming in and out of that area near the gym as well. And we wanted to break it into three different parts of the message. The first visual is all about the urgency of the problem in Utah. The second visual is about the specific harms of those substances for kids. And then the third one is all about what can parents do. So we're identifying the problem in Utah, what some of the harms are related, and then giving the call to action for parents to get involved. And we took this overarching theme of learn how to see what's right in front of us, because a lot of this, is going on, especially, I would say, vaping, and a lot of parents are not really aware of what that means for their kids' well-being. So let's now go back. And what we did is, this is all interactive with an app. So you go to parentslearntosee.org, there's a QR code that takes you there, and this comes up on your phone. And this was pretty amazing technology that we developed specifically for this, but it's really quite easy and functional to use. It comes up and asks you to have permission to access your camera. And then it opens up and it has these three different filters. You see there's like a vape cartridge there, or a vape pen there. We've got alcohol and we've got opioids. And as you press each of those and hold those in front of the art I just showed you, it reveals the message. So it's just like a 3D glasses, right? And so when you are on the urgency of the problem in Utah, let's go back, well, the other way. When you put the phone up towards this first one, then you click on the alcohol little circular button there, it reveals in there, and you can kind of see it in the art here, 44% of Utah kids who drink get alcohol from home with their parents' permission. So a Utah specific stat. When you do the vaping button, this little vaping button right here, the red one, then the message comes out that says 44%, 1 in 3 Utah high school seniors vape, which is quite staggering. And then with the opioids button, 47% of teens say it's easy to get prescription drugs from their own home. Then when you move to the second sign, the alcohol message says alcohol can wire the brain for addiction. Vaping says nicotine harms brain development. And for prescription drugs, it says addiction can happen in as little as 7 days. And then I forgot to mention, the follow-up, like the subhead there on that second one, it's not an illusion. Protect your kids' brains and their futures. Then if you go and you point that app to the third sign, alcohol says, here's the call to action. Setting clear rules and keeping the conversation going will help prevent underage drinking. With vaping, it says make sure your kids know the dangers of vaping. And then with opioids or prescription drugs, talk to your kids about prescription safety. And with the follow-up subhead here, parents are the key to prevention. Help keep your kids safe and healthy, really emphasizing that safety and health message. So that is, and then when you scroll through this app, it gives some supplemental information about each of those substances for parents so that they can learn a little bit more. We also had handouts that were created so that we could pass those out at the parent night that night, and then parents could at their leisure at home use the app with the QR code and really digest the messaging and hopefully respond to that call to action and have those conversations with their kids. So any questions on that parent night before we move on to the second part of the partnership. Okay, great.
Lisa, could I just point out just one thing, and that's the parentslearntosee.org. That's an awesome website that has all sorts of resources and information on it. That's really one of my favorite parts of this campaign, Lisa. So I think it's really awesome.
Yes, I agree. And it's just all right there at their fingertips, which is awesome. So, okay, thank you for calling that out, Leanne. So then let's talk about the possibility of a library takeover in your local area. So, you know, with this emphasis on brains and learning, we just felt like the library is an ideal partner. As some of you may recall, we've partnered with libraries before when we did the escape room and talked about how books build brains. And, you know, substance use prevention is all about protecting those healthy brains. So as we looked into the research a little further, we were really impressed to learn that, you know, reading strengthens so many things in the brain. It strengthens the connections between the areas of the brain. It heightens brain activity. It improves memory and concentration. It reduces and prevents cognitive decline that's age-related, like with dementia. It reduces stress levels, lowers heart rate, blood pressure. It's linked to longer life. I mean, just all this overwhelming evidence of the power of reading in all of our lives, but especially in kids, that reading at home boosts school performance later on. It increases vocabulary, raises self-esteem, builds good communication, just all those life skills that are going to help kids truly succeed. So we love this potential partnership with libraries for this messaging. What we suggested is, you know how when an author goes and does their launch of their new book and they have a book signing and everything, they often do these backdrops of a giant book and have it there next to the table where they're signing. And so we proposed taking that signage that we had created for the parent night and putting it on the front of this book, and then having a stand-up, what would you call it? Like, you know, instead of using the app, you can still use the app. We have the option, but for those that don't necessarily want to do that it might be a barrier to them, we actually have a physical 3D glass that you can stand in front of and then read each of the messages. Then also to support that, we just want to give people multiple ways to interact with the art. Then we would also propose a bookmark that would be basically like 3D glasses, only in a bookmark shape with the 3 different color panels that they can then use the QR code, go to the website, see the art, and use their bookmark even to you know, read the messaging and whatnot, interact with the message. Then we love the opportunity to give some supplemental information to each of these messages for each substance. And if there's a large bank of windows, which a lot of libraries have, great opportunity to give more supplementary information, kind of flesh out the prevention message a little more. So that, and you know, for Leanne, what we're doing in conjunction with Gandy Dancers, we're also putting up similar messaging at other events where people are already going to be coming. So they have a 5K and half marathon that they've been doing for the last several years. In the summer, we'll have this messaging that will be pushing them to go see the installation at the Gandy Dancer so that we can increase the exposure. So that's kind of the opportunity, and we would love the chance to do this across the state as you guys are available and as you have available funds and opportunities. So would love to hear your comments or questions if you have any.
So Lisa, the creatives have already been taken care of, so people would just really need to pay for printing and installation. Is that accurate?
And getting their community partners in place, yes. And the main thing you notice, what's unique about this is that it's all branded Bonneville Communities That Care. It's not branded Parents Empowered, Know Your Script, or See Through the Vape. And that's the important part that makes this work, so that we can do this. Because as I'm sure many of you are aware, we've wanted to do cross messaging in many occasions, but have not been able to, because anytime it involves state funds being used to do multiple substances, there's always the risk of putting that funding, in an awkward situation where if a legislator saw, oh, well, I know we're funding this campaign, and now you're talking about this, why don't we just combine them, and fund them less? So we have to be very, very careful with how we do that. And that's why the brands are not included on this messaging, and that it's all unified under the coalition and their branding.
Lisa, Alyssa has a question. She said, would this be able to be tailored with other focuses on additional substances, like their primary
Oh, yeah.
substances are vaping, marijuana, alcohol, not opioids?
Not opioids. Sure. I mean, yeah, we can certainly look at that, and we just have to change out the little iconography and some of the art. Yeah. It is a pretty labor intensive process. I will say, I've got to give major stars to the designer who did this. This was our creative director, that Destin, if any of you know him, that did all this, and layering all that messaging within that beautiful art is fairly time consuming. So we would just have to allow some extra funds for the hours to modify the art. But yeah, Elisa, that would definitely be possible.
Can I throw out too that they have, R&R has already received an award for this campaign. So
Yeah. Yeah, it actually won, it went up to regionals and won in the regional Addy Awards. So kind of exciting.
That's cool. So Lisa, I'm thinking there have got to be other community coalitions out there that also have marijuana as one of their priority substances. So maybe, Alyssa, you can find other coalitions that might want to chip in on that marijuana art, and then you're not carrying that all by yourselves.
That's a great point.
Teresa, could I share my screen? I just want to show you something that one of our cities did.
Yeah.
Just over east. I don't think you've seen this yet, Lisa, but let me find it. I don't know how to do this one with one screen. I'm sorry. I'm used to my two screens at home.
I can't operate without two screens these
Oh
days.
my gosh. So can anybody tell me how to find my screen that I want to share with you guys here?
If you do the share screen, it should come up with little
here we go.
Yeah,
There we
little
go.
thumbnails. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. I don't know what you're saying. What are you seeing?
Oh, there we go. Now you're there. Just double click on that to open it up.
Okay. All right, thanks. So know that this is not one of the things that they developed for this campaign. They're standalone things there. Do you see the three things? And South Ogden used this at their Easter egg hunt. And
Open up the picture, Leanne. We can't see the picture. We can only see the thumbnail. Can you double click it?
Oh shoot, it's showing big on mine. Let me stop and try again. Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Let's see, share. Sarah, come help me. Let's see, are you seeing it now?
Yes, there we go.
Okay, all right. So check out that, and that's pretty inexpensive. That's not an expensive thing to do. We're going to put these at our city halls and some of the recreation centers. We're looking at actually even putting it into hospitals and waiting rooms and things like that, because it's pretty portable and they're not that huge. Or you could amend that. The other thing, oh no, that's it. I just went, there were thousands of people. I think there were 1,400 people there that day that were, they saw this messaging for the first time. And so we're just positive that as they see it in more places and more times, that it's going to catch in their brain. Hopefully it will get that message out there.
Leanne, what are those made out of? Is it foam board that the
Melissa?
Yeah, it's kind of like a foam board. It's just a real durable, yeah, core board kind of stuff. Yeah.
I love this. Does anybody have any questions they want to field to Lisa or Leanne? Please go ahead and unmute yourselves if you would like to do that.
Ah, Elisa, the Spanish. It is not yet available in Spanish.
Lisa, how hard do you think it would be, like when you're looking at least just at the website, right, to be able to have that website be able to translate into Spanish? Because I know that printing all the and getting all the overlay of all the statistics and writing them in Spanish, honestly, in Spanish, it's always longer. It's always longer almost every time. And so I mean, would that be hard? Because I know a lot of websites, like you could just like click a translate this website button.
That's right. Yeah, that would be much easier. There's no question. I mean, I think we could do the handout in Spanish without too much problem. But as far as redoing the art all in Spanish, that would be a heavier lift and would be, have a fair amount of cost with revising all the art. But yeah, I think that's a great solution, Madeline, to maybe do a handout in Spanish and also do the website in Spanish.
Well, it looks like we don't have any other questions. Leanne and Lisa, thank you so much for jumping in at the last minute. And I love this campaign for lots of reasons, but I love that they've been able to effectively combine funding streams by branding with their coalition. And I love the art. I love also the fact that you're able to share this with other areas. And I think, we talked a little bit about how we can help each other and what kind of topics people wanted, but I think having a shared folder for things like this where people can know where to go for different like campaigns and things like that, so that everybody has access. I think that would be beneficial. And this is one of the things we can put in there is, get with Lisa and have her help you kick off something similar in your community. So very cool about that. And then just before we jump off, make sure if you did not sign the roll that you hop in and sign the roll. That link's up there. Taylor put that in again a little bit ago. And don't forget to visit this Facebook page because we have some key questions. Thank you, Taylor. In there that we'll be posting, and then you can be like Trudy and get a prize next month. So anyway, thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for the chance to be with y'all. Hope y'all have a great day.
Thank you.